Hello and welcome to the Slow Ready Podcast, a casual drive into the music and culture of Goose. I'm Alex.
And I'm Mike.
And we are back after a couple months off, mostly my fault, so don't blame Mike, to get into our Goose Yearbook for 2025 a little bit late, but we're getting to it. But before we get into all the fun and shenanigans, as always, gotta plug the socials at Slow Ready Pod. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, you name it, we're there. And we'd love to chat with y'all there. We've been getting all your messages and all that, and we got to get back into the swing of things after a shaky start to 2026 with illnesses and snow blizzards and God knows what else will happen. But we're back.
We're back.
We're so back. But yeah, let's kick this off. Let's just get right into it with our first segment, Hot Tea here, Mike. Dive into some news and notes. So since our last episode, that was Goosemas time, dude, 2 months ago. So obviously, since then, we have new tour dates, man. U.S. tour dates in Canada. And we were so behind, we wanted to chat about this a little bit. So after the Europe tour that we discussed previously ends, the band kicks off in Toronto on June 13th, then hits Virginia Beach for a couple nights, June 15th and 16th, then heads to MSG for a 2-night stand, June 19th and 20th, then to the Firefly Distillery in Charleston. Back to Charleston will be awesome. June 23rd and 24th. Then 2 nights in Raleigh on the 26th and 27th of June. And then back to Merriweather after All Good last year on June 28th. A couple nights in Boston, June 30th and July 1st. Then Holmdel on July 2nd. 2 nights at SPAC with the Disco Biscuits and Mo opening on night 1 and night 2 respectively on July 3rd and 4th. And then a little bit of a break before more dates on the West Coast, August 13th starting in San Diego, then the 14th in LA at the Greek Theater again, the 15th in Stanford, then the 16th in Reno, Nevada, and then a couple more dates over on the West Coast, August 18th in Vancouver, August 19th in Seattle with Green Sky Bluegrass opening, and then August 21st and 22nd with Green Sky Bluegrass opening night 1, and Buffalo Traffic Jam opening night 2, a night back at the Kettle House Amphitheater in Bonner, and then 2 nights at Red Rocks. Back to Red Rocks, August 27th and 28th. And finally, just throw this other announcement in there too. The band announced they'll be playing on Thursday at Bourbon and Beyond Festival on September 24th. So that's a whole lot to get into, Mike. Obviously, very exciting. Some big venues thrown in here, some fun venues from the last year or two as well. Are you thinking about hitting any stops, or what stops stick out the most to you, buddy?
So it's going to be kind of a light summer for me after a heavy spring. I'm just going to be doing both nights in Raleigh. But obviously the things that stick out to me the most is Julian Lodge opening in Toronto, going to be absolutely excellent. Last time he guested, that was one of my Goose highlights of all time. Coming to Firefly Distillery, that is a very cool venue. If you've never been, I highly recommend that. Of course, 2 nights at MSG and 2 nights at SPAC. That is absolutely crazy, especially getting SPAC with openers. That's just pretty wild. And then Red Rocks, I mean, I don't know if I ever thought that they were going to go back to Red Rocks, but getting Cotter his first plays there, pretty epic stuff. So it's going to be a great summer tour. And Peter did say recently that they have not forgotten about the Midwest. So if you live in the Midwest and you're feeling like you're left out, I would almost bank on Goosemas and/or Fall Tour hitting your area pretty heavily.
I sure hope so, because the Midwest loves some Goose, and obviously they won't leave them hanging for too long. But you said it pretty well there, man. I think what stands out to me is, especially compared to last year with 2 albums dropping and a lot of festivals thrown in and promotion, there's a lot more 2-night stands here, which is very exciting. Obviously, MSG is pretty much my hometown venue in this instance, so I'll be at those 2 shows. Potentially Holmdel, not looking the most likely though, and then definitely trying for Red Rocks. We'll see. That'll be my first time seeing like a band that I actually want to go see at Red Rocks versus like being on a work trip and just like going just to go. So that'll be pretty cool. I'm very excited to see Goose there. And yeah, a lot of love to the West Coast here too is exciting to see. I would love to be able to go to some of those shows with Green Sky Bluegrass. I love those guys, but I don't think it's in the cards. But exciting for everyone out there going to whatever shows you're going to, let us know where you're headed. We're so excited for this tour.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, a lot of beautiful venues on the West Coast that they're hitting. If you're into scenic destinations, this is the tour for you there at the tail end.
Mm-hmm. And the band loves some Bend, Oregon, and with the
Yes.
openers there too, that'll be such an exciting spot with 2 nights there. That'll be outstanding.
Rick wants to move there.
Yeah, that's what he said. All right, next up, really excited to also drop that by the time you listen to this, our dream set list submissions will be open. We'll have our post up on all of our socials about how you can submit your dream set list. It should be a little more streamlined this time than last year. It's just a bunch of drop down menus on a Google form, essentially. And you just craft the set list that you want in the order you want. And Mike, you can even explain it better than me, I'm sure, because this is your baby. So I'll let you get into it, actually.
No, I mean it's to his point, it's really not that complicated. I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're going to pick the songs in the order you'd like them to be played. You know, pick your favorite opener and just kind of make your own set one and set two with your encore choice. And you'll have an option to, you know, if you pick Arcadia as your closer, you'll be able to pick what Arcadia last year was your favorite, you know, choose that option specifically. And so we're just going to take all of your submissions and find out what everyone wants to hear most and kind of build this dream set list together. And super proud and happy with how last year came out, our first time doing it. We had an unbelievable amount of submissions. A lot of you participated and made this something that I'm really looking forward to doing again now.
Yeah, it'll be really cool to see because the slotting matters so much to what's selected, and obviously hearing what everyone's favorite versions is really cool. It's just another spin on getting to see what the community's favorite type of set list is. And last year wound up being a lot more interesting than I even anticipated, and hopefully it'll be just as cool this year.
Yeah, and obviously, like, we love Jam of the Year, but you know that can be intimidating trying to figure out 64 different jams. This is, you know, pretty friendly to everyone. You know, you've only got to pick 12, 13 songs here, so it's a really just light, fun activity, and that's what it's meant to be. It's just a fun activity for all of us to jump into.
Yeah, and shout out to our friends over at AAT. Jam of the Year just concluded there too. Just wanted to throw that out there that we were both at the Milwaukee Night 3 show with Everything Must Go that just won Jam of the Year as we're recording today. So that's pretty cool. But we like to supplement that with our dream set list, which maybe the Jam of the Year will make an appearance in the dream set list. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Synergy.
Synergy. Man, corporate speak over here. Let's get back into fun stuff, man. And we'll do that by getting into the Flodown, our 2025 yearbook. So just like last year, we're going to kick this off with the student life section and go by the numbers of 2025. So we had 65 total Goose shows last year at 49 different venues, which speaks to all of the one night stands I was talking about before. In 31 states with 795 total songs played. That includes repeats. So there's 155 unique songs played, with 88 of those being originals and 67 covers. The most played songs of the year were Hunger Sight with 20 plays, Give It Time with 19 plays, then Hot Tea with 17. Rockdale, Thatch, and Big Modern were all tied with 16 plays each. And then Silver Rising and Animal had 15 plays each, which a lot of this makes sense with the new album and new tunes, and then just big songs too. So any thoughts on that, Mike?
No, like you said, it's a good mix of old and new, some classics, some heavy hitters, and you know the new favorite darling of most newer Goose fans, Give It Time. So no real surprises there.
Yeah, and with those two new albums that were released, one being a big surprise, but EMG obviously getting a lot more promotion before and after, and then Chain Your Dragon afterwards. The community continued to grow very steadily in 2025. Met so many folks going to their first show, and then so many historic moments throughout the year too for Goose. Obviously, they had their first headlining festival at Viva El Gonzo. They had their biggest headlining show of all time at MSG, a sold out night at MSG. And they played even more historic venues, like playing the Gorge Amphitheater for the first time in front of a estimated crowd of almost 30,000 people. All the DMB fans showed up early for that one to check out Goose. And then, you know, we closed the year out with probably the craziest production we've seen at a Goosemas yet, you know, continuing to raise the stakes. So Goose is in a really, really cool place right now.
Yeah, the size of Goose just is getting bigger and bigger by by the year, and we're starting to enter that period where they're becoming so popular that we're actually starting to have difficult time getting tickets and things like that, which is a great problem to have. We've been rooting for this since day one, but how much they've blown up over the last 2 years is just super impressive.
Stop telling your friends about Goose. No, no, no. Please tell your friends about Goose. It's exciting to see him grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, just wanted to shout out that the fan art community continued to absolutely kill it. Obviously, that all culminated with the biggest Flowdown to date at Goosemas this past year. Pretty sure we broke about 20 fire codes at that event. We've been chopping up the video of all of your favorite 25 moments for this episode. And yeah, it's wild to see the crowd going by through all that footage. It's just unbelievable how many people were there.
Yeah, I've only participated in a few flow downs, but I've been to a bunch of them, and I've neither as a participant or participator seen a crowd like that ever. It was absolutely insane, and I think all of us that were there, it just was beyond our wildest expectations.
Yeah, and other community groups like the Western Sun Foundation and Conscious Alliance continue to just grow as well in their donation amounts. You can check out their individual pages to see all their contributions to the various charities that they were contributing to and all the funds raised by Goose fans specifically. And it's just wild and amazing to see how much generosity there is in this community and how dedicated some of these community participants are in making the world a better place while we have a good time.
Definitely.
So, with all the stats kind of out of the way here, real quick, and the student life stuff, let's get into a little freshman orientation. Talk about the early part of the year, I'll say. So, we kicked off the year with winter tour, which was amazing, but I don't really want to talk about that yet. That felt like a more advanced lesson than freshman orientation. We'll maybe get into that later. But one of the big events early in the year on March 11th was Luna Luna, which was a totally immersive experience that was unlike anything else Goose has done to this point, where they played an hour and 20-minute improv set in beautiful art display. For anyone who hasn't checked that out, it is amazing. It's up on Nugs. You can check it out. I'm only here for the zip line, it's called. And it's absolutely fantastic. We got Chateau Sessions Part 3 as well. The Chateau Sessions are amazing. And we got, our first official version, but we had heard it technically before that of Fast Slow. And then we got, Dustin Hoffman thrown in there. That was the first time that had been recorded technically, although that came out just after Viva El Gonzo. And speaking of Viva El Gonzo, we said it before, first 3-night festival that Goose headlined all 3 nights. That was amazing, and by all accounts, one of the best run festivals that people have been to and will continue to grow this year, hopefully. And that wasn't all for the festival circuit. Obviously, Goose went to a ton of festivals this year. They headlined All Good Now Festival. They headlined Mountain Jam Festival. They were just all over the place promoting these new albums and continuing to grow and draw new fans. So a lot of new freshmen orientated. I don't know if that's the word. Oriented.
It's coined now. That's a Slow Ready exclusive.
Yeah. We claim to be smart people here. We are not.
Not at all.
I am not.
No, neither of us.
But let's get into the meat and potatoes. Obviously, the most fun part of the episode, the part that resonated with everyone last year the most, was our superlatives, our Goose superlatives of 2025. So I've been doing a lot of talking, so I'm going to let you go first here, Mike. We're going to start off with the first superlative of the day, most likely to succeed.
Well, I'll be curious to see if we have the mind meld going early on in this episode or not. But I think for me, this was an easy MSG. I think had easily the most people that Goose has ever had. And everyone considers it a core memory already less than a year later. So to me, MSG was just, you couldn't miss.
Wow. Okay. We went a different direction on this, but I love it.
Okay.
It was just like last year. People really like that because you can get creative with how you think about it.
Sure.
So I went with more the song perspective. So I said easily Madhuvan for me is the most likely to succeed when it popped up on a set list. So many standout versions this year. Obviously, starting off the jump with Milwaukee and Grand Rapids in February, And then it just continued through the summer and fall with great versions in like Cleveland and Alpharetta and even Philadelphia and Goosemas, covering the gambit of all kinds of different sounds throughout the year, from straight metal to bliss to the depths of hell dissonance. And um, it was really, you could get anything you wanted from Goose with a Madhuvan this year if you had been listening throughout the year. And another sleeper answer I would say was Thatch, but it just didn't quite have as many versions as Madhuvan.
That's a great call, and you're totally right. That's what's fun about this exercise, is that we both may be approaching these prompts from completely different trains of thought. But if I was looking at it from a jam perspective, I would totally be on the same line of thinking as you. Madhuvan was by far the jam vehicle of 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun to see where this goes. I'm so excited. We have not consulted each other. We always say that and no one believes us, but we really didn't. So
we've been on hiatus.
I've been so sick this year, and suffering through blizzards. It's been a terrible, terrible start to 2026, and Goose will make it all better.
Exactly.
So next up, we have most ambitious, and I'm curious where you went with this one.
So this one for me, I went for Gonzo and Goosemas. I think on both ends of the year here, putting on your first festival, making it in a foreign country where now passports are involved and all of that. You've got to really nail the location, which it seems like they did. All the logistical ins and outs, the supporting acts that you choose have to kind of fit with the overall vibe of what you're going for. There's just a lot to make that a cohesive deal. And like you said earlier, from all accounts and all of our friends that went, seems like they did. No reason to believe that it's not going to be the case again this year. And then with Goosemas, just the scale of it, you touched on that earlier as well. So I'm not trying to just keep repeating your words here, but the scale of Goosemas just keeps blowing up. And, to see these 10-foot tall puppet animals coming out, and we've got choirs and the largest balloon drop I've ever seen, just the scale of Goose last year, 2 albums, everything about last year was super ambitious for them. So, they crushed it.
So the mind meld is kind of in place here. I mean, different answers, but the same general idea. I wrote down like 10 things before getting to my answer. I said tons of options for this one. Madhuvan felt like another obvious answer here with all the different variety. Band busting out songs like Torero and Fast Slow out of the blue before the new studio cuts that we had gotten in Dustin Hoffman and Iguana song. 4.5 hours at MSG. But I wound up landing on the 2 studio albums in a 4-month span for like a ton of new material for fans to dive into outside of the live show setting, and gave us a ton to look forward to, and so much dichotomy between the 2 albums, like such extremely different approaches in sound. And the fact that a lot of the work was done within 2025 to get these albums through the finish line is wild, on top of all the touring. Like, they only did like 4 or 5 less shows in 2024.
Insane. And what they're able to accomplish with D. James Goodwin is just crazy, because you couldn't have a more different set of 2 albums too in the same year. So to accomplish 2 completely different soundscapes like that within, like your point, 4 months is kind of truly wild.
I don't know how they do that without taking a 2-month nap like we did.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into Class Clown next. Who's your Class Clown?
This would be one where there's a lot of different ways I can go. I mean, you can do the Cotter thing, and you're just like going to take your pick: Speedo, MSG, Corn Boy, Booby Cancun. But I think that the Green Room, the vlogs were real winners for me this year. And I think that my biggest highlight by far was the whole Rick twerking to LMFAO. That absolutely broke me, and I'm still dying at that every time me and my girlfriend throw the vlogs back on. It kills me, and how eager Cotter is to get in on the joke. They were hilarious this year.
I got to go back and check the record, but that was the Boise show, right? So that is the inspiration for the Rosewood Heart that was like 40 minutes long. So thank the LMFAO, dude. Oh boy. It's well said by you there. The vlogs, however you say it, those are up there. Obviously, Cotter's up there. But for me and my sense of humor, I personally got to hand this one to Rocco Primavera and the boys at Primavera Tours, influencing the Viva El Gonzo Butter Rum and giving us the big Bada Bing Butter Rum during the actual song on top of the video. And that's just never going to get old to me.
No, and that might be like my all-time favorite Goose video ever released. I watch it every couple months, just oh, it's time to check out Rocco Primavera again. So yeah, that's an all-timer.
It was so good. And I mean, maybe Rocco could apply to this next one, but next up we have best personality.
So out of the shows that I went to, the best personality would be Milwaukee because it was just, in my opinion, like the greatest run they've ever done. And Goosemas, just because again, like the scale and attention to detail and telling a story was just next level. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen at this year's Goosemas, just because of the bar that they keep raising. But out of all the shows I didn't get to, because I chose for both of these, MSG is probably the winner. However, the dark horse sleeper for me would be that it doesn't seem like you're ever going to get a bad show at Bend, both because Rick's vibes are higher out there, but the Bend shows just have a really good track record at this point. And like that's become one of the ones where I'm like anticipating this summer's shows at Bend because it's got a good track record at this point, like I said.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like those are the shows I have the most FOMO for already that I know I'm not going to get to go to. They're going to be great. Just looking at last year's set list is like everyone just thinks about the Ben Thatch and that was amazing and one of the best jams they've ever played. And there's like an Autumn Crossing in there. There's all kinds of goodies thrown in, but gets overshadowed by the one jam. I can't imagine what they're going to do with 2 nights there.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike's favorite song of the year is my pick here, and I'm going to go with the Westville All I Need. My brand of bliss here, Michael.
Yeah.
I know how much you really love to hate this one, but I felt like we were straight up teleported into Charlie Brown land with this one, slowly building into this like slightly jazzy feel that had been refined in this beautiful bliss for the prior week or two and just culminated into this amazing 20-ish minutes with one of the peak transitions of the year into Salt, which I kind of consider like the second part of this jam.
It's a great call. I mean, to be fair, I guess there's 2 camps on this, but unless you consider the Madhavan from Goosemas true bliss, then All I Need would have been my highest ranked bliss and jam of the year. So I did not think unfavorably of it. Me personally, would never pick a bliss jam for jam of the year. So that's just me, but it is a gorgeous jam, and it was probably my favorite bliss jam of the year. So I'm with you on that, buddy.
No, I just had to throw that in there because we had so many debates about that jam specifically.
Jam debating can get a little bit hostile at times, but it's always all love.
It's all love.
Yeah.
Text never goes through right. It's all just
yeah,
it's all love.
for sure.
All right. Next up, let's go most intelligent. I feel like this is going to come off as super douchey no matter what answer we come up with, but let's see where you went with this, Mike.
For me, there was really only one choice here, and it's Luna Luna. I mean, if we want to be real technical, that is the jam of the year. And if you want to just look at it from a broad scope, the whole art concept of it, and then having this fantastic hour and a half of unscripted music that just went in so many different directions, it almost felt like going to music school or music art school or something like that, like a hybrid of the two. And to me, like that was the most highbrow thing that they did the whole year.
So that's funny because Mind Melt hit here, so where I thought I would come off as a total douchebag saying that, but it was very highbrow when you think about all the thought that had to go into making this an immersive environment while also playing to the everything must go angle, all the character work that had to be done for each of these different characters being written, and they all were fantastic actors and actresses. The artwork is just beautiful, and combining that historic artwork in with this album concept, and then obviously the improv work itself, incorporating Stuart Bogey in as well. Just the way they found a way to make it so immersive and in such a really powerful endeavor of art for Goose fans is really remarkable. I also wrote down as like an honorable mention, if we were going to talk about a song in specific, I was going to say that the Milwaukee Everything Must Go, the jam of the year that just won today. I think the people got it right here in that sense where the jam kind of gives you something new every time you listen. I think it's genuinely one of the best examples of a jam where each member of the band weaves in and out to shine and finds their moments during the song, but also propels each other up. And I think it's some of the finest work we've ever heard Peter do, just to shout him out specifically, but obviously everyone sounds terrific on it. So just wanted to shout that out too.
Yeah, 100%. I would say the same thing about the Milwaukee Matavon. LOL.
Listen, that was my number one, so I am with you. All right, next up is most likely to cut class or most likely to nap in class. Where'd you go with this one?
I think there's only one answer here. It's Torero. Where the hell is it? It's one of the best new songs in forever. We need Torero back. Like, I want 10 plays this year at least.
The Philadelphia Torero is going to be off the chain. I've been saying since last year.
We love this.
The only other potential answer is One In One Out, which also disappeared after summer. Sounds like they're both kind of getting reworked a little bit, and we'll see how they sound coming into 2026. But let's bring back the unreleased gems, fellas, because they were great.
Yeah, I adore Torero, and I know you do as well. So we're hotly awaiting that.
Yes, hot lovely awaiting that.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, I'm going to say is most likely to become famous. So a lot of different directions to go with this one, too.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Winter Tour, though. I think if you looked at the volume of Jam of the Year submissions, I think February has already become the thing of legend. And no matter where you fall on the spectrum, whether you're like somebody that thought that Toronto was super underrated from that run, Grand Rapids is the best, or Milwaukee supremacy, like no matter where you're coming at it, there's something in there that you love most likely. And it just hit right away. Everyone knew in the moment, whether you were there or at home, that that was a special, special run.
I cannot disagree with you there. And it was so funny thinking back to the time of the Winter Tour and everyone being like, the Toronto shows are just like all right. And then you go back and listen to them and they're just great too. But
Yeah.
the other 6 shows were just so outstanding that
Yep.
it just poor Toronto. But they wound up being some of the best shows of the year too, with some of the best jams.
Totally.
I went a little different direction than you, and I tried to think of like what song is going to be the one that people are clamoring for this year, 2026, after 2025. And my top 2 candidates come from the same night, and that's Goosemas Night 1. And I'm leaning towards Pig's 3 different ones that got busted out. And it's already, in my opinion, in legendary territory for Goose covers. And I really hope it sticks around and isn't just a one-off thing. Because the back and forth with Rick and Cotter singing is perfection. And, I mean, everything about it is just goosebump inducing, including the bogey solo, which just like rips my chest apart and tears my heart out. But also a quick shout out to Burn the Witch on that same night. Equally exciting and electric for us as Radiohead fans, but I just think Pig resonated with the crowd a little more, and I hope it doesn't disappear after one play as well.
Yeah, I'll co-sign that and also add, I would like all of the Goosemas covers to stick around. They were all super well chosen. Big fan of all of them.
Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling we're going to go in a similar direction for the next one, but best dance moves.
There's a lot of candidates here. Anything with Goons is going to be a good answer, but specifically, I called out a few examples. The MSG Tumble, the Wilmington Empress, Fish in the Sea was a huge dance floor shaker, and the Rapture Cinnamon. I think we're all worthy of shout outs.
Nice. I said the same thing. Tons of Goons options, but the one I actually just switched up my answer like an hour before we recorded here because I just listened back to it. And I'm going to go with the Charlotte show, Creatures into Hollywood Nights. Like, get some Goons and then get into the great dancey cover. And I think it might have been illegal in North Carolina to be standing still on that night for those 25 minutes or whatever it was. Because even watching it at home, it was like a dance party here. So a shout out to that Charlotte show.
That was a slow bubbling transition into Hollywood Nights that was really, really fun to dig into. So that's a good call out. I wasn't expecting that, but you took me back there.
I just sometimes like throw stuff on shuffle or whatever, or moments that I pulled into a playlist, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta incorporate this into this somehow.
Perfect.
Most spirited. I'll go first on this one. I've been making you talk first a lot, so I just picked Luna Luna for this one as well. Again, the immersive experience, celebrating the vision of Everything Must Go. I don't know that we'll experience anything quite like that. And then obviously, in the same vein, artistic expression, I Gonzo comes to mind as well, but I landed on Luna Luna.
Yeah, it's a work of art and one of the most impressive things they did. I think I thought of this just slightly different. I was just thinking of excitement and joy, and to me it was, this is 1A and 1B. I'll give you 1B first, was Goosemas Dramaphone with the animals again. But I
Hmm.
think Empress with the balloon drop is by far and away the single most thrilling, exciting, joyful moment I've ever seen at any concert ever. I just, and especially me
So
getting to be
good.
behind the stage and see the entire floor get coated in confetti and balloons, and just all of you crazy, awesome people just dancing your hearts out for 30 minutes straight. That was a party that I don't know when I'll see again, but that was just so much spirit.
You know, that moment of celebration, we gotten like 10 messages, including from you, Mike, to me about that picture that we posted of the
Yeah,
confetti drop. And that was just like being in the moment and pulling my phone out and taking one picture and then putting it in my pocket and not looking at it. And now it's the picture that came out, which is just like perfection. Um,
and I
so
don't want to exaggerate, but like I'm not kidding when I say, obviously we all look at photos all day long. I think it's like maybe one of the 50 favorite photos I've ever seen by any person ever. Like it just, every time I look at that photo you took, it takes me back perfectly to that moment in a way that the other photos I've seen from that night have not. And to get to experience that again, it's just like, my God, that was the most fun. That was so exciting. And it was a night where like we were going in with kind of weird, uneasy vibes, and Goose just completely flip flopped that by the end of the night to becoming like the most joy I've ever had at a concert. It's unreal.
it, it is still such a range of emotions thinking about that night. You're so right. But yeah, that definitely was quite a bit of spirit to pick up our spirits on such a heavy
Yes,
night. Oh my gosh. Cause and then it hit you like a freight train as soon as the concert was over too. Like, oh my gosh, like this world
yeah,
is a terrible place. But luckily the music and Goose helps us to escape that. And that's all I'll say about that for now. It's obviously a big debate about whether the concert should have gone on and stuff. And I don't want to get into that.
for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. And maybe you should talk first on this one too, because I'll be kind of interested to see which way you went. But how were you thinking about most likely to be president? I'll be curious.
I had no idea how to do this one. Last year, I looked at what we picked, and I picked Peter. So this
Okay.
year, I'm going with by far the most put together, uh, equally representative of all the people member of this band, and I had to go with the level-headed, never does anything too exciting, Cotter fucking Ellis. No, I'm kidding. That guy's the man. We knew how talented he was already in 2024, and in 2025, it seems like he just took his playing up to a whole other level. I don't know if it's just the comfort level with the rest of the band or what, but quite frankly, we saw a lot of longer jams in 2024. In 2025, I feel like there's not enough credit being given to the fact that we could get such rich depth out of like 14-minute jams and transitions. And a lot of that is driven by Cotter and how much he's managed to progress even the playing of Trevor and make that rhythm section just like a force of nature. Um, these like shorter jams where you used to need like an extra 5 or 6 minutes of exploration to get to like a cool spot are just like turning on a dime and getting there in seconds now. And while I'd love to see more of the exploration, obviously, like I'm here for a long jam. I think everything we're seeing is still a treat, and there's never really a bad jam at this point. Like there's a strong floor for everything because of Cotter.
Yeah, I 100% agree. He's one of the most confident drummers that I've ever seen. It doesn't really matter how they're exiting a jam, whatever the tempo is, whatever the, space that they're making with the music. He just seems to be completely at ease and completely confident about what direction he wants to go and what type of pulse he wants to put out. So I think that's really well said. However, I was looking at this completely differently than you, so the mind meld breaks apart here. Um,
Good,
sorry to
good.
say,
Everyone's
great.
sick of us agreeing on everything.
It's a great answer though. Um, and this may not be true in recent history, but at least it used to be the case that to be president, you had to be kind of well liked by a lot of people. And so, how I was thinking of this was, I thought of it like the Ben Thatch. This didn't really play out this way in the Jam of the Year voting, but I kind of thought of the Ben Thatch as it appeals to everyone, to various degrees. You may have had it higher or lower, but everyone found something in the Ben Thatch I feel like that they kind of liked, even if it was just one section of it. So I thought that was kind of like the easiest to like jam of the year, even though it did not perform very well in that contest.
Listen, we need to start an investigation because that jam ruled. and
Yeah.
I was devastated when it lost. So let's launch the investigation. Sorry to our brothers at AAT. We want to count the vote again. We're going to be those weird extremists rolling into your voting centers. No, the
Justice for
Ben
Ben
Thatch
Thatch.
is it was amazing, and I honestly I think it was that song that was like in everyone's 10 favorites of the year, but maybe it just wasn't enough to take it to that next level. I don't.
Nobody had it at 1, but everyone liked it a little
Nobody
bit.
had it
So
at one.
yeah, so I get that.
I'm sure people did, but there was obviously like more enthusiasm about the
Yeah,
winter tour shows and things like that. I agree with that.
for sure.
So best dressed.
Is it possible to have two different answers here?
No, it's Cotter, right? Like it's
Yeah,
gotta be
it's
Cotter.
Cotter. He's the
And
only
I
answer.
picked specifically the gold speedo and the fur situation at MSG, but you could pick anything for Cotter.
Well, I was going to say my second favorite vlog moment was when he was needing to get the short shorts to complete the rest of his outfit.
Yes.
And they're asking around backstage to find short shorts for him. That outfit was one of a kind.
Real quick, circling back real quick. I do have to
Yeah.
shout out my other answer for most likely to be president, which is obviously SK. Sam King, patience of a saint, keeps these guys on track. They are always giving her a hard time, and she's just the best
Yeah.
and keeps things rolling. So shout out to Sam King. But I had to get my Cotter answer in there too. All right. Next up, most likely to be late. Speaking of keeping things on track and SK having to deal with that, what'd you put for most likely to be late?
I put What You're Thinking. I put Rick apparently due to chocolate milk per Sam King and the whole band at the show up on time.
Oh, sorry, I ruined the moment here.
You led me into it. You didn't ruin anything. You were teeing me up. That's exactly where my mind was going. The only other answer was the whole band at the show up on time, which I now know from the vlog was not their fault. But I find that very humorous as well, that we were all talking about like, yeah, we need to get there early because they're going to actually be on time for once. And then, of course, due to technical difficulties, the show up on time is late. Of course it is.
I had both those answers as well. I had the band as most likely to be late, but I guess the other one I can shout out is MSG breaking the curfew. Peter coming on the mic and during Shamalama Ding Dong's intro and saying, "I got some news to report. We've gone past curfew. We're just gonna keep going. So hang out with us if you like." And it's just one of the coolest. Like, how did he probably rehearsed that, right? Like, that's just way too cool of a thing to say. Naturally.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And you're making me think of another one. There also the moment in the vlogs where Peter's like, "T's in the bathroom. We can't go on," to the Whip It rhythm. That was also another they're late moment that was hysterical.
Yes.
They're always late. It's great.
All right, for this next one, I'll be shocked if you have the same answer as me, but maybe we do. I don't know. Most outgoing.
This was, believe it or not, this was the only prompt that I didn't have because I felt like I was going to put Cotter again, and I just stopped myself because I would totally put Cotter as the most outgoing, like 10 days out of 10.
That's a fair answer. Totally different direction than what I was thinking, but yes. I mean, come on. Cotter could be the answer for almost all of these, honestly.
He's a mascot.
He is truly the mascot of Goose now at this point.
Yeah.
Get this man a goose costume at this point. Just
exactly.
Doing like the spinny sign thing on the side of the road. No, I honestly, maybe this answer doesn't fit the best, but I picked it anyway. I wanted any excuse to get Fish in the Sea into my prompt here, and I wanted to give it some love this episode. And my reasoning for selecting it for most outgoing is they just really let this song breathe and go out for some really cool jams this year. In 2025, it got 4 of the 5 longest versions they've ever played of it, starting in Milwaukee with that like dark Middle Eastern jam with amazing peak at the end, and then getting more big versions in Cleveland and Alpharetta, and obviously the biggest one being in Guilford just before Alpharetta. Quite a year for this fan favorite cover, and I think it could be easily argued, just like with the Ben Thatch, that the Guilford version was one of the most liked jams of the year that just didn't have the sauce to be a lot of people's number one, and explored a ton of territory in 25 minutes.
It was definitely one of my top 4 jams of the year, so I've definitely mourned its loss greatly. But yeah, was at the Cleveland Fish in the Sea, at the Milwaukee Fish in the Sea. It had a humongous year. Definitely enjoyed all my time. I think that was like a total of like 35 minutes of dancing to Fish in the Sea for me this year.
Oh, so good. I just like, you know what? If I don't say Fish in the Sea this episode, it'd be a travesty.
It is. I'm glad you did.
What's next? Most likely to brighten your day. Yeah. So, where'd you head with this one?
There's a lot of good contenders. We talked about the All I Need from Westville. That would certainly be up there. The Rockdale from Guilford, Half Step from Grand Rapids, the Empress with a Choir from Goosemas. Those are all valid. But I think for me, like, and it's kind of wild that this happened for me on the first night of Goose of the Year last year and my first show of the year. But the Animal from Milwaukee never got surpassed for me. It was just like, it was a very simple jam and a very simple progression, but it just felt like joy incarnate all year long to me.
Mind meld complete, man. I put that down as well. That Blissey Animal obviously got a huge crowd pop and reaction afterwards as well. And I think really inspired the band to put Animal as a set closer, move it around a bit. And it really had a pretty good year, Animal. Like it was not the same generic kind of like funk jam that was getting old for some folks in 2023. And I think it was in a good place. So, but just to be a little bit different, another answer I had down was the 1 in 1 out from Grand Rapids Night 2 in February, which just feels like jumping into a pool of hugs and sunshine and donuts and all your favorite treats. And back to the compact jam discussion, like they did not get enough love in 2025. And this is one that'll give you a grin almost as big as that Animal.
Yeah, 100%. The Half Step from Grand Rapids wasn't long either, and also just packed a bullet of joy in a short time span there too. So,
all right. So, Animal might be an answer for this one as well, but most changed.
Oof. So I'll look at this from two angles. From the positive side, the intro to My Mind has been consumed by media, has been leveled up in a really huge way. On the slightly negative side for me, not as big of a fan of the intro from EMG and Silver Rising that have sort of taken on that electronic clicky from the album type of intro. And that is not as much a favorite for me, but those would definitely be my three most changed.
Oh, those are great answers, man. I thought way different on this. And I was trying really hard to be like a contrarian from my normal kind of answers here and not go chalk, but I felt like it was really hard in 2025 in general. But for this one, I went with How It Ends. And that was because we'd only heard the one short version in 2024 and it got shelved until after the album release. And when it came back, I feel like they just really had nailed down the sound of the song so much better than we heard it at the Cap. And it proved it could fit anywhere into a set list. And I just remember being so blown away by how good it sounded to close out Gonzo Set 2 on their last night of a headlining festival. And I just thought that was absolutely terrific, and it just didn't stop from there. Always a pleasure to hear that now.
You're blowing my mind with the angles you're taking on these prompts. It's like you went on like an Aaron Rodgers ayahuasca vision quest or something while you were doing this.
Please don't compare me to Aaron Rodgers, dude. That guy sucks.
He does suck, but the vision quest part, I mean, these are really, really interesting angles. I'm proud of you, man. These are excellent. I would have never thought of these answers.
Maybe it was all those trips to the hospital I took to start the year and all the morphine and shit.
Jesus. Okay.
All right. Next up, most likely to win a Nobel Prize. I'm curious what you did here, or do you want me to go first?
I'm good. Yeah, go first. I talk first a lot here.
Oh my, yeah. It's the burden of hosting. I make my co-host talk more.
No.
So I went a little off the wall with this one too. When I think of a Nobel Prize winner, I think of someone who can like easily work with other people to bring positive change to the world or bring as positive an outcome as possible. Think of a team player, someone who puts everyone's needs first and in spite of that still shines through as a special person. And because of this, I'm giving it to the obvious answer here, Stuart Bogey. And the dude just has the sauce, dude, especially with Goose, but it especially showed in 2025 immediately with Luna, seamlessly trading in and out a lead with Rick for almost an hour and a half. And then, he comes with the rest of the horn section to MSG, and we get all this insight after that show into how much detail he puts in during the vlog, where you just see what level of detail he goes into, want to understand the arrangement perfectly, where he can jump in, how he wants the band to utilize him. And then Goosemas, dude, just wow. Like, obviously both nights were incredible, but now with a few months removed, night one just stands out so much more to me because Stewart was independently there and a big part of elevating the band and making the music turn at every possible direction to the best possible direction with him playing there. And it didn't sound canned or confined at all, like you can sometimes feel with the full horn arrangement. He was just elevating the music the entire time. So, Nobel Prize winner Stuart Bogey, man of the year.
I mean, I fully can't disagree with that. I mean, that guy, there's certain musicians that are really good at music, but they are not that great at improv. He's good at both, and improv just comes so naturally to him. And I think he's just a unique talent where I don't think that there's a ton of saxophone players that would be well suited to play with a band like this that does as much improv. But he brings out the best in Rick and Peter and Trevor and Cotter. And I don't think that that's true for a lot of horn players at all.
No, I mean, we even saw Goose play with the DMB horn guys, and like obviously they don't have as much chemistry and stuff, but like
Sure,
his sound just fits with Goose so much better, in my opinion, than those
100%.
DMB guys. So just shout out to Stewart.
He's the man. I thought of this a completely different way. I just went with the Westville All I Need, actually, because I thought it was by far the most popular feel-good jam, according to the community. It was the only Bliss jam that got a 1 seed in the Jam of the Year bracket, and it was just an instant moment. As soon as that weekend wrapped, even with MSG being the monumental deal that it was, people were still raving about this All I Need. So it was instantly popular. And I think it's the one song or jam, from the year that would most likely turn a bad day into a good one. So that's why I picked it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great feel-good jam, and I know I give you grief about the Bliss Jam stuff, but I know you do like it secretly. You had it high in your rankings.
I do. I just have certain weird rules that I adhere to.
A certain set of skills.
Yeah, exactly.
Most likely to break the internet here.
So I've got MSG two different ways. One, when they opened with Factory, I think that broke the internet and people's minds. But also just how well it sold, it kind of broke the internet. I mean, to be on our corner of the internet when it was announced that they sold it out and you could see with your own eyes going on ticket sites how few seats were available, every single hater was kind of put in their corner, in their place when that happened. And there was a lot of hilarious memeage going around and a lot of I told you so's and things of that nature, but definitely a huge break the internet moment.
So we're both in agreement here, and we're in agreement with a lot of our listeners as well, based off of the feedback we got when we asked for everyone's favorite moments of 2025 at Goosemas when we were at the Flodown. So let's listen to a few of those responses here, if you don't mind, Mike.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm one of Goose's street teamers, and my favorite memory of 2025 was the Factory Fiction opener at Madison Square Garden. Let's go street team and let's go Goose.
Matt Franklin from Long Island, New York. Favorite 25 memory, Factory Fiction at the Garden.
Hey, everybody. This is Ciano. My moment of the year, which is going to sound crazy to some people, was MSG Factory, because that was my 16th show, and believe it or not, that was my first Factory, which I know everyone else is sick of, but it made me very, very happy. See y'all.
My name's John, and I've been a Goose fan since I first heard them in 2020. And my favorite moment from 2025 was this year I got to bring my daughter to her first Goose show. She just turned 1, so that was awesome at the Man. But my favorite musical moment of the year was definitely Madison Square Garden. The first few songs, I could feel the ground shaking, and it was just an unbelievable Goose moment.
Moment of the year. Like, let's just wrap up the podcast here. That settles it.
Exactly. They said it.
I mean, we didn't prompt them, so people decided.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. No, we have more superlatives to get through. Best newcomer.
I think we may end up being the same here unless you continue your trend of thinking about things in a really off-the-wall way. But I got Dustin Hoffman as a runaway for Best
Yes.
Newcomer. I mean, my favorite on the album, as we discussed, was Iguana Song, but I don't think that there's any way, even as much of a fan as I am of that song, that I could ignore how big Dustin Hoffman was as soon as it jumped on the scene. I mean, even from the Chateau sessions, you get a 20-minute jam on that thing that is just super sweet. And I kind of actually wish that that was eligible for Jam of the Year, but another story, another time.
Well, it wouldn't be fair because it would just win outright. that and Luna Luna was obviously the Jam of the Year, but anyway.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, I went with Dustin Hoffman. Obviously, it was like splitting hairs. Dustin Hoffman, Iguana Song for me. But Dustin Hoffman just wound up working out better in the live setting, in my opinion. And Iguana Song, fantastic, but didn't quite get the level of room to breathe as Dustin Hoffman got this year, and would love to see it go for more of a ride so that it can get on that level. But a lot of great options here. And I thought when it dropped, it was going to be the peak of all the studio work we got from Goose in 2025. And psych, we got another album 4 months later. So shout out to Dustin.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I haven't had as much time with the 2 new songs from Chain Your Dragon, but I do think that those are strong additions as well that are going to continue to ramp up as far as their importance in the catalog.
So next up is Cutest Couple, and I think I broke the rule on this one, but
oh boy, what you got?
You go ahead first. Oh, okay, I'll go. Okay, I cheated. Like I look at it, I cheated. But when I think of like segues or like songs being together, I always circle back to night 1, set 2 of Fiddler's Green in Colorado for that Factory Fiction, State of the Art, Echo, Psycho Killer, Echo, Factory Sandwich Palooza that we got. And, I'll narrow it down so I'm not cheating, but specifically the Echo Psycho Killer pairing is just some of the most mind-blowing transition work that we heard all year. And, you know, I don't consider the back half of that to be Echo. You get like 12 seconds of Echo, in my opinion. That's Psycho Killer. But Echo and Psycho Killer together, perfect.
Amazing. I've got 2 here. I've got the Atlas Dogs and Rockdale Sandwich from Burlington. I think that was up there for my favorite Goons of the year. But I think that far and away for me, the winner was Burn the Witch Arrow. I think that Arrow was in my top 5 jams of the year. I think it was severely underrated by everyone. What Bogey and Rick did on that together with Peter was just absolute insanity and stuff I've never heard this band do before, which was all thanks to Stewart. And Burn the Witch is now far and away my favorite Radiohead cover, even though they already do Weird Fishes, which is my favorite Radiohead song. So that tells you how good that was and how much the execution was just like at the ceiling.
Oh my gosh, you're getting me like giddy thinking about it. I got goosebumps in the middle of you talking there. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. That the Burn the Witch Arrow combo is one I probably should have picked now that you said that.
Goose doesn't get much better than that for me. That was it.
No, although you know I still like my answer, but
no, yeah,
I was that Goosemas, so I kind of want to lean to attendance bias now.
A lot of good options.
Similar superlative here. Best bromance, cismance, are most likely to be BFFs forever. How'd you think about this one?
So again, 2 answers. Salt and Encores. They seem to love that, and Peter said that they love it. It just fits so well, and we love it. I mean, it's a great way to end a show. It's hard to top, honestly. But the other one was going to be, and this is a little more wacky, but Trevor and Marlboro's Never to Part.
Okay, we went way different this time. I found this one really, really hard because like I was trying to look for songs that were played like in the same set or like back to back quite a lot this year, and unlike 2024, there just wasn't a lot of that. They did a great job mixing things up. So what I went with was Echo Veroz and Wisteria Lane tended to be together in a set next to each other sometimes, but in the same set a lot. And while that led to some shorter versions, we got a lot of electricity, especially out of the Echo side of it. Would love to see these 2 cismants together some more, but let's get them to both be like 20-minute lovers here. All right.
Yeah. That point though, there were a lot of really good 15 and 16-minute Echoes and Wisterias this past year. I'm with you 100%. We definitely need to get both of those great, excellent jam vehicles up over 20 minutes again. But to your point earlier about them packing a punch quicker here, and a lot of that being from Cotter. I think, like, right off the top of my head, that Wisteria from San Francisco was like 16 minutes of absolute excellence.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of good to still be heard, but just to take it up to that next level and just be like one of the peak jams the band's ever played, like they could get there with so many of these if they added 5-10 more minutes.
100%.
All right, most likely to win a beauty pageant. Ooh.
So for this one, I already said it earlier. To me, the animal from Milwaukee, most pretty thing I heard all year. But honorable mention to the amazing outro from Fish in the Sea in Guilford, which was totally unexpected, came out of nowhere.
Nah, I picked the animal too. It was between this and the Mississippi half step from Grand Rapids, and I wound up leaning animal, but both of those were neck and neck for me all year with some of the best bliss I heard in terms of like beauty that is elicited when I think of that. Like I think of the Westville All I Need is a totally different type of bliss. I don't
More driving.
Beautiful to that one, like these two.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's not like as sparkling. It's not like as vanilla ice cream. It's a little bit more dynamic, which is probably why it ranked higher as a jam of the year. But yeah, your point's well taken. The Mississippi half step has definitely got to be in the running too. Also gorgeous.
So let's get into most likely to bring the drama. And I can go first for this one if you want, or you can go first. It doesn't matter.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So to avoid the same answer I would do every year if I had the choice of like people cheating the rail system and the pit situation, I'm not going to say that again for every year. I'm going to go with going back to Westville, the Westville Madhuvan into Whip It, aka Rip It, that stole an epic Madhuvan from the Northeast and haunts my nightmares on a weekly basis. Why, Goose? Why?
I know you were looking at like a potential like show of the year candidate if they drag that one out and to cap the weekend, and an MSG where they don't play it. I mean, it was teed up, and then for it to not happen is just kind of it's like a kick in the crotch. But for me, I did fans of literally any other jam bands, but definitely also fans of the Disco Biscuits. Easily
even
the
after
drama
Foie
bringers.
Gras, dude. Even after Foie Gras, they're such assholes, dude. We're
Constantly.
fans of Disco Biscuits. Why are the fans so mean to us? Like we have to delete like 10 of their comments on every social post we make.
I have no idea. It's like the third most listened to jam band for me, like, which is really saying something because I listen to a lot of jam bands. So it's just like absolutely crazy. And Goose is best friends with them, and they're best friends with Goose, and they're opening for Goose. Like clearly everybody should be happy and get along, but no, it just can't happen for some reason.
Listen, it's all good. Like I love listening to all the music, and I don't understand the whole tribalism thing. Like this is why world peace will never be solved.
Exactly. Like you can like Fish, the Disco Biscuits, and Goose and chew gum all at the same time. It's possible.
We're getting preachy here, so I'm just gonna lay off. But God, it's like brutal out there. Like
it is.
It's okay if someone likes something that you don't like. Like you just scroll past people.
Scroll past it. Yep, exactly. But anyways, last to leave the party, Alex. What do you have for this, and how did you think about it?
So I went pretty chalk here, I think. I had to go with Empress of Organos, specifically the Goonsey versions we saw throughout the year. I thought it was a perfect way to close out a show with the Dancey Encore. I know that's basic as hell. I know people are sick of Empress Encores who have been to like 12 shows and gotten 11 Empresses. But with the Goons, I thought it was super cool.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. I conceptually was not thinking of it that way, and this is just really basic and boring. It's my most boring answer of the whole thing. But MSG Curfew, it was pretty obvious to me, but Goose stayed out later than they ever have, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I wish you were there. It was so cool.
Me too.
It's like we haven't discussed enough that MSG, it's so weird. It's a weird show because it's like a perfect show in my opinion, but it doesn't have any like standout individual jam moments really like that you would like rank as. It was just perfect for the occasion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like a greatest hit highlight reel of the band at that moment in time, and it just kind of stands on its own as its own thing, sort of like Luna Luna, but in a completely different way.
Yeah, it's just like excellence all the way through, but it's not like
Yep.
peak. And I don't know how to describe it, but
Still a tentpole show,
peak
though.
as a show. Yeah,
Yeah.
still a peak show. It's hard to describe.
A lot of great moments.
Best hidden talent. This is not going to MSG, but where'd you go with this one?
This one, I'm going with Trevor Bass as a jam leader. I mean, it's been obvious for absolutely forever that Tweaks is an absolute force on bass, but I feel really strongly like this year specifically, he leaped forward so far as just in terms of taking control of more and more jams with his ideas, leading the improv, and it was just incredible to watch and listen to for all of us, I think.
Can't disagree with you there. I'm a little bit offended you didn't pick the same answer as me here, based off how much we talked about this and how it was like technically your moment of the year. But it's got to be Seekers on the Ridge Part 1, dude. Being a surprise jam vehicle in Philly, man. A huge moment for us sickos.
Yeah. No, that is, well, I mean, I was saving it for the last prompt, Alex, but I mean, whatever. It's Steal My Thunder. That was my highlight of the year, though.
Piano ballad feel and the groove Trevor's doing, it's perfection. That could have gone on for another 30 minutes and I would have like literally peed my pants in the pit. It was so good.
With how much I'm just a slave to variety being the number one thing that I want, of course it's the Seekers Jam. But anyways, let's keep going.
It rips, dude. It rips. All right.
It rips. It does.
Most likely to have a secret identity.
Ooh. So this one, I got it two ways again. The Hot Tea from Grand Rapids. I mean, what the heck was that song? Because it was not at all what you were expecting to get, especially in that spot in the show. But also the Guilford show. I think a lot of people slept on Guilford because it was the night before MSG. A lot of people that were going to MSG either couldn't make it or just actively avoided it and didn't prioritize it. And it ended up having like 3 of the best jams of the entire year all at that show. So those would be my 2.
The secret identity part's actually kind of perfect for Guilford because it was like people were like cheering on the fact that they weren't going to get Flodown and stuff. And there's like, psych, this set list rules starting from Rockdale. Like amazing all the way to the finish line after Rockdale. So yeah, like people like turned it off after that and the wound up being amazing. So,
missed a lot. Yeah.
So, yeah. My answer, I'm going to go with So Ready and Slow Ready having a secret third sibling and Fast Slow and one of the biggest pleasant surprises of the year. And really it was the official start of the Goons in my mind, that we got through the rest of the year. Just kind of love the fact that the band looks at a song as loved and played as So Ready and Slow Ready and tries to find a way to shake it up even still for us.
For sure. And another thing that doesn't get talked about a lot, but the Chateau Sessions Fast Slow was also one of my favorite jams of last year. I couldn't include it in my bracket, but that was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I know. The Chateau jams are perfection. I can understand why they're not included in a sense, but like people need to listen to them more at least.
Yeah. And I just
find a way to find a way to like make people listen to them every day on top of the 2 jams of the
100%. Yeah, they need more attention.
All right. I'll go first on this one. Most likely to have a reunion special. We talked about one of my 2 answers, and that was Foie Gras coming back with the Disco Biscuits at Gonzo. But also, Jim James is also going to be at Gonzo, and he'll be coming back hopefully to play State of the Art with the band, because that moment in Louisville was one of the most epic things I think I'll ever see in my life. I am convinced the structural integrity of the Louisville Palace Theater is forever crippled.
Well, you stole my answer. I had Foie Gras as well. So I'll pivot and say that it's going to be Stewart now that we know he's going to be one of the Mexico artists. He's definitely going to hop up on stage quite a few times, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that, honestly. I'm so excited. Can we get you a last-minute ticket to Cabo?
I wish, man. The way I've been posting lately, they might not let me back in the country. We can cut that.
Well, I mean, after Gonzo, you might not want to leave anyway, but
this is true.
Most likely to
Jesus.
Just throw yourself at the mercy of the cartel. Most likely to change the world.
All right, I'm going to get serious and sappy for a second, as I do once per year, every year. But Rick Materatonda, I say it a lot, and I probably don't say it enough. He's the only guitarist in the world that has actually inspired me to take guitar and practicing playing guitar more seriously. And it's truly just because his playing both confuses the shit out of me and inspires the hell out of me. The dude is the man.
He is the man, and one of the kindest dudes ever. Like, seriously, by all accounts, great
Yeah.
hang, great person. And his guitar work is beautiful. I still have a hard time thinking of anyone who, if the world was being taken over by aliens and they're like, give me the best improvisational melody guitar player, like, hard to pick anyone over Rick Materatonda.
Yeah, he just makes earworms out of thin air.
Mm-hmm. So I went a way different direction here.
Good.
Sorry. But I went with Dark February, dude. Everyone liked that phrase I coined, Dark February. But the surprise switch, unexpected switch to a 4-piece band, and how quickly apparently it became that the band could just hear each other way better, and the chemistry night to night would build so much quicker. I'm not here to like shit on any past members of the band or their contributions or anything like that. I just want to shout that out real quick. But to my ear, the band's never been in a better place in terms of maneuvering around each other and hearing each other and finding new ways to move unilaterally. So while like a lot of people have not labeled the jams as exploratory as 2024, I think a lot of it is because of that, being able to hear each other and just like quickly turn on a dime versus like having to listen to them feel things out more. And yeah, they try to squeeze a lot more songs in. That's going to be part of the nature of the catalog growing as it has, and them wanting to get more songs in, I think. But I think just having this 4-piece has really benefited them overall, especially Trev, to your point earlier. I just think his contributions have hit an entirely different level now, and so many instances of him just dictating where the jam is going, along with Cotter, obviously. But, it used to be like in years past just the Rick show, and now it's very, very refreshing to see it's the everybody show, and each night you can hear where each member is making things pivot.
Yeah, and February is kind of like where a bunch of different developments all kind of coalesced and converged together. It was, they had come off of the bingo experience, which I think did a lot for them. They got new inner ear monitors, so they were able to hear each other better. And then, Cotter opening up the space for Trevor to really flex and be a more open style bass player. It just all kind of coalesced to flexible set lists and wild improv, which was, I think you made a great meme at the time where it's like, you get a dark jam, playing off the Oprah thing. But that's kind of how it felt at the time. It just felt like ultimate creative freedom for the band.
You're the meme lord, dude. You made all the great memes that everyone liked. But yes. The dark jams were amazing. I mean, the jamming in general was amazing. I would love to see them get back into that kind of zen of improv that they were in. Just very loose feeling, like, I think the pressure was off, and like the shackles of expectations were off with them having to like suddenly adapt to this new circumstance, and they just kind of like rolled with it in the best possible way.
When also Peter said that they basically like lived in the Miller High Life Theater for like a week leading up to those shows. And so I'm kind of hoping that they find another opportunity at some point this year to kind of take like an extended few days or a week leading up to a run at a venue where they all get to rehearse and just, get that band tightness going to where anything is possible, it feels like.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting to think about. We'll see where it goes with, this spring tour we got coming up in weeks. We're talking weeks now here.
Yeah.
And they got a long stretch of touring coming up, basically nonstop from then through the end of June into July, early July, and then finally like a month break. But it'll be a lot of time playing pretty consecutively. I think the chemistry will be off the charts.
For sure.
And to be able to play that long, you have to be pretty athletic and take care of your health. So what'd you pick for most athletic?
I picked the Boise Fire Hosewood Heart. I think that was, at least as far as jams go, it was easily the longest. It was the second longest they've ever played. And also just the style of that jam was just kind of sustained. We're going to stay at a 9 or 10 for the entirety of this and just not take a breath. And so while it wasn't my favorite jam, it was one of the most fun jams they played, and it was definitely one of the most exciting.
Yeah, I mean, fun is the right word. Like, I think if you're flying around for work, like as much as I do, and you want your flight to feel shorter, just like turn on that Rosewood Heart a couple times and you'll feel like the flight was only 25 minutes long. It just flies by, especially those last 10 minutes. So that's a great pick. I had to go with, your favorite jam, my favorite jam, the Madhuvan from the 7th of February, dude. That final stretch of the song has a headbanging peak that's like so hard that I feel like you could just add 300 pounds to your max squat and chuck those weights to the ceiling. Please don't try that at home. Don't run through any brick walls. The song just like gets you jacked, dude. It's like literally music steroids.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, in my opinion, the greatest peak that they've ever played. So I don't think anything even comes close.
It's certainly one of the hardest peaks they've ever played, and like metal as fuck. I know it's like that's subjective, but I have to agree with you. It's up there.
Rock Lord status, triple mountain peaks, double applause break. I mean, just full on train flying off the tracks type of stuff.
We were up on the balcony for that Madhuvan at Milwaukee. I think I almost fell off like 4 times from the headbanging and the shaking of the venue. It was outstanding.
Yep. For sure.
Honestly, they need to put some like warning signs up, like Goose may cause you to headbang so hard you will fall off this balcony.
I'm really hoping we get a vinyl release for that weekend at some point.
Oh, that'd be so cool. It was special. It was very special.
I mean, the 2 Jam of the Year finalists were both from that weekend, and it was just, there were more highlights from it that weren't included. So yeah, I need that on vinyl at some point, Goose, if you're listening.
So I guess that leads right into the next one, the show or song you're taking to prom or homecoming. And I guess I'll go first since we're already talking about Milwaukee. Or MSG is obviously up there for a lot of folks, special in so many ways. Perfect celebration of the band's achievements, like we talked about. But for the sake of being like a wannabe hipster contrarian, I'm going to pick Milwaukee Night 3. My wife's birthday, shout out to Sarah, love you, 2/8/25. One of the most absurd set lists you'll ever see, dude. Outstanding stand-up versions of Everything Must Go, the Jam of the Year winner. Big Modern was on track to maybe be one of the greatest versions if they freaking finished the song. The Fish in the Sea being the longest version of all time to that point. The first long Jam Out SOS we had ever gotten. Sludgy, dark Hunger Site in the middle of the second set. And, it's not even including like the fact that there's the full Driptych in there with, the Born Hunger Site Drip Field Suite. There was No California, Coveted Cover, Mist Opener. Yeah. So top-notch set listing right here. That is the one set list I will take to the prom every day of the week. How about you, Mike?
Did you have a song too? Or just the show?
I mean,
not to put you on the spot.
Song, I'll go with the Madhuvan again, the 2/7 Madhuvan. Okay. I genuinely had my hands over my head for like 2 songs after that, like the entire Redbird, which is also outstanding right after that Madhuvan. Yeah. It was just like blew my mind, and little did I know that would be the best thing I heard all year for my taste, but it certainly left an impression.
So I've got a lot of answers here. I got a little bit overexcited, I think, since it was going to be like my final thing on talking about the best of Goose 2025. But so I've got for show, I've got Milwaukee Night 2. I had that just a little bit higher than Night 3. I think that the Madhuvan, the Empress Sandwich, just everything going on with Night 2, I just had a little bit higher, but Night 3 is right there with it. For moment, we talked about it, but the Seekers Jam is like the coolest Goose thing I can remember in recent memory. And then for song, Alpharetta, Madhuvan, or Milwaukee Empress, those were the 2 things I listened to the most this year. I think that Alpharetta Madhuvan was like the best overall jam. It gave you a little bit of the dark to light that the EMG gives you. It gives you a little bit of the craziness that the Madhuvan gives you, kind of puts it all in a nice package. And then I just thought that the Milwaukee Empress from Night 2 was just the most fun thing that Goose did all year long. It was granted like 15 minutes of electro sounding Rick, but it was a vampire nightclub that I want to spend all of my time in forever and ever.
Yeah, I mean, there's so that's why I didn't like pick one song. There's just like way too many I could think of. Like
2025 was crucial,
insane. One that really comes to mind now that I think about it is like the Spokane show with those crazy lights at that venue.
Yes.
And the Trevor Reed's poetry going into Moby Dick with fucking
Yeah.
Cotter going ham. That's like a song of the year in a lot of
On
ways.
John Bonham's birthday.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's just so much. Like 2025 was a really special year in a lot of ways. And maybe the jams weren't everyone's cup of tea compared to 2024, but in a lot of ways, I think they really leveled up their game, and hopefully 2026 continues the trend of being their best ever.
Yeah, I forgot the no rain opener when it had been raining in Cleveland. There was a lot of cool little things like that, like where they just nailed the moment. And so we're like a month away from tour starting. I'm so excited, buddy.
Yeah, no, I know. I can't wait, man. And the Clearwater show is on my birthday. It'll be the first time I ever see a concert on my actual birthday because no one's ever touring in the middle of freaking April.
How cool is that?
It'll be so cool. So excited to be there. And yeah, anyway, enough gushing about my experience. Do you have anything else you want to shout out for prom or homecoming before we move on?
No, I think that's all I had, man.
All right. So we like to close out the yearbook with some student quotes. And we talked about it at the top, but obviously we had a really cool opportunity to participate at the Goosemas Flodown for night 2, just before night 2. So a lot of people are talking about how epic night 1 was. And we asked people what their favorite moment of 2025 was up to that point. And we picked out some of our favorite answers. So let's listen to some of our favorite picks of people's favorite moments from 2025.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Jim Bob from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Longtime listener, first-time caller. My favorite Goose moment of the year, I reckon, would have to be at All Good Music Fest in the second set. I call that the dad set. All right. After Dripfield, they started into This Old Sea, into Factory Fiction, into Hollywood Nights. I mean, it's a total dad set. I can't say anything other than that. Like dad, so This Old Sea, we had our daughter this past year, is a huge song for me to her. So that hit me really hard on my first Father's Day ever. And then for it to go into Factory Fiction is like totally me, man. Like it's like nice, soft, and sweet, and now it's crazy and wild. It's Jim Bob time, baby, and that's my little girl's dad, all the way. And then obviously Hollywood Nights in that set. I mean, dads love hanging in the garage and drinking beer, listening to some Bob Seger. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was just an awesome set. But that's my favorite moment of the year. So, thanks everybody. Happy Goosemas.
All right, I'm Tyler Schnabel. I hail from L.A. My favorite Goose moment from 2025 was being at Rise Festival with my best friends who love Goose just as much as me. And we're walking around, and who do we see? Trevor, Rick, Cotter, and last but not least, Peter, all hanging out, watching a show. We walked up to them, got to meet them, took a picture with them. Greatest guys ever. It was a moment that will go down in history for me. All right, I'm signing off. Goodbye.
Yo, what's going on? Dad here. What's my dad doing? Telling you, man, this Slow Ready Pod stuff here is freaking awesome. But last night's show, Goosemas Night 1, was the fucking bomb, bro. You gotta listen to it. I know you're missing out. You gotta go. Later.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Hey, this is Niche, Factory Fishing or Land Towers, and my favorite 2025 Goosemas, not Goosemas, but Goose moment is from the Westville show. I was sitting in the very last row at the top of the nosebleeds, and the All I Need jam started, and it was one of the greatest Bliss jams I think this band has ever played. It was sunset. Everybody was just bawling their eyes out around me, and it was a fantastic moment. The love was everywhere, and so, yeah, great jam if you haven't heard it, and, yeah, that's the jam of the year.
Hey, this is Josh from Western Mass. I think the best moment of the year so far, Mountain Jam as a full experience, to see the band shred with that backdrop of the Catskills and the clouds rolling over it, and I had gone up the gondola just before the set and seen Cotter sitting in with these musicians up on the top of this cloud-covered mountain. And, I think the All I Need at Westville is my favorite jam of the year so far, but that Mountain Jam experience, especially Michaela Davis, layering that beautiful harp in there, that was just an unforgettable set. And the 35-year-old in me says the national cover just hits different. So that was a phenomenal show. Love the podcast. Thanks, guys.
Hey, guys out there, Gooseland. So the quick story for you guys. This year at the Gorge, Dave Matthews Band, night 2, you all know that Goose was hanging out at the concession stand in the middle of a big intersection in the lawn. We're all hanging out, enjoying the show. The set list was phenomenal. And then here's Goose just hanging out for 6 songs, chilling with us, right? So lucky enough, I had my Goose hat on that night. It was my baby blue color. Our good friend Jen, she had her Sharpie with her. The band was super chill, willing to take, time to sign a hat for me and have a conversation about their 2 album drops and their first time at the Gorge. What a phenomenal time, man. Hey, thanks, guys. We'll see y'all.
All right, what's up? I'm Ian.
I'm JP.
And I'm Dom.
Yeah, and we're college kids from Marist, and Goose kind of really shaped our college experience. So our favorite Goose moment was Jed Stone last night. It's a song we've been chasing for a while, and it's pretty meaningful to all our friendships. So, yeah, Jed Stone was just beautiful last night. Yeah.
Thank you. I agree.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Happy Goosemas.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Excellent. Good job.
Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Is this thing on?
Kimberly, what was your favorite moment of 2025?
Well, Simone, I would be delighted to tell you that it was seeing Goose in Spokane, specifically Trevor reading poetry, and then going straight into Moby Dick.
And how did your heart feel as Cotter was playing Moby Dick?
It blasted out of my chest.
Was there anything crazy that happened?
The whole thing was crazy.
All right.
He was playing the drums with his hands.
And then sticks shot out of his hands.
Like Spider-Man.
Okay, how did we do?
Did that record?
We love you, Goose. Goose.
Yo, what's up, Slow Ready Pod? This is Jay Ham with Jam Ticks by Mail, out here at the Flodown celebrating. Thinking about my best Goose moment of 2025. I'm going to say, fresh off Goosemas Night 1. I'm telling you, last night, Sugar Mountain ending, the Radiohead cover, second set. It's just special to be here. Good time to be alive, my friends. Hope to see you all out there, and happy Goosemas, happy New Year. One love.
So my name is Tammy, and my favorite moment of 2025 was getting to take my son to his first show in Charlotte.
That was awesome.
Hey there, it's Matt from Math, cheering on Slow Ready Podcast. Favorite time of the year was last night's Arrow, and the whole building let me know that I was right.
Hi, my name is Joe Liepke. My favorite Goose moment was the Burlington show. It was my daughter's both first show. It was awesome to be outside in Vermont with them and have them enjoy their first show with their mom and dad. And it is a moment I'll remember forever. So,
this is Amy from Philadelphia, and my favorite Goose moment this year was the start of Goosemas last night. That opening was amazing. What was it called? Dramaphone? I mean, I felt like I was in Mardi Gras. I don't know where I was. It was great. But I also loved when they went into Radiohead, Burn the Witch. That was incredible. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey guys, this is editor Alex here from the future. Just wanted to shout out this last response we got from the Goosemas Flodown from Connor, aka Long Strange Niche. It was just too hilarious to not leave in. Obviously, he gave us some of his favorite stuff, but also just made some predictions for Goosemas Night 2, and it was too hilarious for us to leave it out. So hope you laugh as much as Mike and I did.
Coming to you live from the Slow Ready Podcast, favorite Goose moments of 2025. Of course, will be tonight, because we're here for Chain Your Dragon straight through, and it's going to be the most beautiful thing. You guys are going to hear the story that I've been trying to tell you for years. Really happy that everyone got to hear Jed Stone, because I've been working on that one for a while. But my heart song, which I can send to you guys, the Hot Love and the Lazy Poet from 2012, that's how we're going to open the show tonight. Just like I called the balloon drop on the first note last night, and the thing is, they let me write the show. And first note, wham, banana, and we're going to meet our ingenue and our leading man, the Hot Love and the Lazy Poet. We will meet them. But I want you to remember, while the Empress seems scary, I know that you think that you're powerful, but we've got the love and rhythm. You say it may look like rain today. We say, hey, what a day to be living. Thank you so much for giving these guys your attention. Love you all. Thank you.
All right, great stuff. We're going to have the YouTube video up with everyone's answers that we could clip, hopefully soon here. We had a little bit of the data get corrupted, so we're really sorry if your answer was one of the ones that got cut, but we got most of the footage. We think we got like 3.5 hours of the 4 hours we were there in good shape. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that YouTube video of everyone's responses that we could get.
Yeah, super excited to share that with you, and keep an eye out for our posts about the Dream Set List. Really excited to do this again for a second year, and really excited to have y'all participate with us.
Yeah, please do participate in the Dream Set List. We cannot wait to give you the results of that. That'll be our next episode, hopefully, and we'll shout out the deadline to submit that and all that jazz. So keep in mind what your favorite 2025 versions of songs were and where you want to slot them, because we would love to hear what everyone's thoughts are. But that's it for the yearbook. How are we feeling about it? Did you get enough hag signatures, Mike?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely did. 2025, like we said a million times, amazing year for Goose, the best one yet, and 2026 is going to be even better. So we cannot wait to recap all that they're going to get into and see y'all out on the road.
Yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Hopefully it's not as long between episodes now that everything seems to be in order in 2026, at least on the stuff we can't control. So wishing you all a safe time this year if you've been stuck in the same snowstorm I've been stuck in, and hoping you've had a great start to your year. Be sure to check out our socials at Slow Ready Pod, and we'll see you on the next one.
Really excited to be back.